what you say I am. I'm your financier. I'm your supernatural debt cancellation. I am. Why, Brother Copeland, would you think a poor person should give and tithe? Absolutely. I am. I'm a new person. I'm a new man. I'm a new woman. Oh, I like that. I'm a new boy. I'm a new girl. Oh, I confess that I am. I'm here. I am the one. I am. Raise your voice. I'm the Jubilee. I am. Ken Copeland, you pay attention to me. I am. I'm 83 years old. Get up. You go around saying I'm healed. But you hypocrite, you're not healed. You're just saying that trying to get somebody to give into your ministry. I am. It's not time to stop tithing. And tonight we are going to invest in this ministry. I'm a new person. I'm a new man. I'm a new woman. Oh, I like that. I'm a new boy. I'm a new girl. Oh, I confess that I am. I'm here. I am the one. I am. Raise your voice. I'm the Jubilee. I am. Ken Copeland, you pay attention to me. I am. I am. I am. Put it in reverse. Raise your voice when I've released that power. Whoa! I'm here. I am the one. I am. Raise your voice. I'm the Jubilee. I am. Ken Copeland, you pay attention to me. I am. I'm 83 years old. Get up.
Good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Vanguard. For Spike, Scott Bagel, starring in Joni Loves Tchotchkes Cohen, I am Matt Wright, and together we are traversing the muddied waters of freedom.
There was a lot happening there. Hey folks, thanks so much for tuning in to this another amazing episode of the Muddy Waters of Freedom. I am Spike Cohen with Matt Wright, as he said already, and be sure to share this everywhere right now. Show Big Tech what for by using their platform even more. Be sure to share this right now, whatever you're watching or listening to this to, with, and on. That wasn't a good sentence. Wherever you're watching and listening to this, be sure to like us, subscribe to us, follow us, press whatever the thing is to demonstrate positive acceptance of who we are and what we're doing. And be sure, if you are on YouTube, not just to press the subscribe button, but to also hit that bell. Hit the bell, because that's the only way that your phone can blow up with notifications every time we go live. Okay? Hit the bell every single time. If the bell's working. Be sure to hit the bell.
Right.
Is the bell not working?
On YouTube, so the Muddied Waters account is subscribed to a myriad of different accounts of just things that I watch when I'm at work. And sometimes I get notifications for them, and other times I don't get notifications for them. So, and I've hit the bell on quite a few.
Hit the bell often. And hit it twice after the first time, because hitting the bell unhits the bell, but then hit the bell again. We want them to know that you want to be notified of these things. We don't want you to have even a moment away from us. No. And hitting the bell makes that possible.
You need 24/7 of me and Spike.
Yes.
And
you need more of us than we need of us.
When have multiple months worth of stuff that 24/7.
When we are asleep, you should be consuming our content.
You should be catching up on things that happened years ago.
Yes. I don't think I'm using the right mic right now.
You sound good.
I'm almost certain I'm not. You keep talking.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I would like to thank the very fine
Yep,
people.
nope, oh God, you guys are getting a terrible experience, aren't you? Oh, this is going to be so much better for you. Oh, the buttery sweet
I would like
tones
to
of
thank the
Spike
very
Cohen.
fine people over at siestacava.com.
And I'd like to thank Le Bleu for this delicious, ultra pure. For this, I'd like to thank Le Bleu for my water. Buluvanaka.
Buluvanaka.
Oh, I'm so glad I looked at that. That audio was going to be terrible.
Would have been better than Tuesdays.
Well, there was no audio on Tuesday,
so any audio is better.
So yeah, folks, you may be thinking, wait a second, this isn't Tuesday at 8 Eastern. You're right. We tried to go live. In fact, we actually technically did go live for roughly 38 seconds. Yep, 38 seconds. And then it went downhill very quickly from there because I was still out of town and I was streaming the show on my side, but the internet would not work for me where I was. And so we didn't do the show. But we're here now and we have an amazing guest. But first, let's go through.
The show was done here.
If y'all didn't feel the show here, then you need to join the Muddy Waters group because the show's always happening here. Muddy Waters on Facebook. Right here. This episode, of course, as always, is brought to you by the Libertarian Party Waffle House Caucus, the fastest growing waffle-related caucus in this or any other party on this godforsaken planet that we live on. Be sure to join us today, becoming a member of the Libertarian Party Waffle House Caucus by going to the Facebook group, which is ironically and unrelatedly named the Libertarian Party Waffle House Caucus. And then if you want to become a credentialed seated member with actual credentials, not just an unofficial member, but an actual voting member of the Libertarian Party Waffle House Caucus, you get in on some of these sweet-ass resolutions we're passing. We haven't passed any resolutions. But if you want to join, really join, then be sure to get a button, because libertarians love buttons like buttons love libertarians. Be sure to go to muddiedwatersmedia.com and click on the store button, and you can buy your Libertarian Party Waffle House Caucus button today. This episode, of course, is also brought to you by the Gravy King. And, of course, this episode is brought to you by Nug of Knowledge, smokable CBD products. We are selling weed on this show. Nug of Knowledge isn't like most other CBD products because it's weed, but also because the part of the proceeds go towards ending the destructive war on drugs. They also have a compassionate use program that donates CBD products to veterans and disabled people and others who are unable to afford these helpful products on their own. Many people who smoke this weed here often report back that they feel better, oddly enough, because they just smoke weed. And they say that it helps them with joint pain and stiffness and being sober. And that it just really helps them in general. But be sure to go to nugofknowledge.com and use the checkout code SPIKE. I love it. The checkout code SPIKE, SPIKE, to get 10% off, nugofknowledge.com, smokable CBD. This episode, of course, is also brought to you now by Joe Solosky for governor of Pennsylvania. Joe Solosky is the key to Pennsylvania's success. Be sure to go to joesolosky.com to find out more. And of course, this episode is brought to you, since we're talking about governors, this episode is brought to you by South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster, who is, was, and shall remain a BIH.
You forgot somebody. I actually have that person's shirt.
Oh, gosh. I need to make a thing for him. Yes. No, I said Gravy King. I said the Gravy King.
You did not say did you?
I absolutely said the Gravy King. Joel, did we say, go off on mute real quick. Did I say Gravy King?
I don't want to anger Matt, but yes, Spike, you did in fact say Gravy King.
Yeah, I really don't pay attention to you when we do this.
I said Gravy King. You did not pay attention to me saying Gravy King. Now, of course, this episode is also brought to you by personal injury attorney Chris Reynolds, attorney at law. If you find yourself personally injured in the great state of Florida, then I have some fantastic news for you. Number one, I'm so sorry, and you have my greatest thoughts, prayers, and empathy. And then number 2, if you are personally injured, Chris Reynolds could probably get you a lot of money because he's an attorney. That's what they do. So go to chrisreynoldslaw.com to find out how Chris Reynolds, personal injury attorney, Chris Reynolds, attorney at law, can help you today. chrisreynoldslaw.com. Matt?
Now, as you probably already know, for anybody who was tuned in on Tuesday and we didn't have the show, we have a very special guest on tonight that we're going to be opening up with. I want everybody out there in the internet world to put their hands together for Joel. Vote for this man, or you deserve what you get.
You told me you would hook me up with a sweet nickname, and you did not disappoint, sir.
I'm glad that I was able to deliver for you.
That's good. It's a nickname and a campaign slogan rolled into one. It's East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, before we get into
East Stroudsburg,
before we get into anything, everybody needs to wish our guest a very happy birthday.
Yes.
He is spending his birthday with us, Muddied Waters of Freedom, to talk about his campaign, and this is the best thing he could think to do on his birthday.
Which is sad.
Well, I did try to hang out with you guys on Tuesday, but we ran into an issue or two. Yeah.
That's also true.
That's fair.
But that's
fair.
But to be additionally fair, that's not our fault because. Well, I guess it is our fault.
That was Steven's fault.
I don't want to take. Yeah. Why aren't we blaming Steven?
It's Steven's fault.
You guys can't hear it, but I'm playing some happy birthday music in the background.
So, Joel, can you tell us a little bit on how you became a libertarian to start with before you decided to run for office?
Yeah, like a lot of people in my general age range, I started paying attention to politics around 2012 thanks to a Mr. Ron Paul. And when I started looking into him, I obviously found out about the Libertarian Party, registered Libertarian, voted Libertarian for a while, but didn't really become involved until the Jorgensen-Cohen campaign. I ended up being the social media director for the state of Pennsylvania for that campaign. Had the pleasure of being asked to leave the Steamtown Mall in Scranton with Spike while we were collecting signatures.
Yes,
and it's been,
I forgot
it's been a ton
all
of fun
about that.
since.
I forgot all about that.
Yes, I can say that I got kicked out of a mall with a vice presidential.
For the first time in like 20-something years, I got kicked out of a mall. We were good about it, though. We even said, yes, we're leaving because we respect private property rights. And the security guard was like, okay, just please leave.
The first time I ever get kicked out of a mall, it's with Spike freaking Cohen. It's pretty solid.
If you're going to get kicked out of a mall, and I'm an expert in getting kicked out of malls. It's been a while, but I've been kicked out of many malls and shopping centers in my criminal career, I guess. This one was a lot like less high impact than the previous times. Like there was no chasing.
Do you remember that mall? There was an aquarium and a DeLorean in it.
Yeah, no, it was an intense mall. How did I? This just goes to show how much stuff I did last year.
That had a liquid zoo and a DeLorean.
Yes, a fish zoo.
A kid popped a balloon, and obviously we're in a mall, so it was insanely loud. And like me and LaQuinn both turned at the same time, and it looked like he was about ready to dive on top of Spike. It was one of the funniest things I've ever been involved in.
Yeah, we all thought I had been shot, and me especially. I was pretty sure I had been shot, and I thought, well, this is how it ends in a mall in suburban Pennsylvania, So yeah, we were there. Why did we get kicked out? They just didn't want us there asking people to vote or something?
Yeah, we were there. The security guard even said he wasn't sure if it was allowed or whatever, and we were like, whatever. It was kind of dead there, but we were walking through to collect ballot access signatures to get everyone on the ballot,
and we were doing better outside because there was more people outside. But frankly, the mall was like, I mean, it was burning hot outside, and I was wearing a suit. So I was like, yeah, let's go in the mall and see if there's any people here. And there weren't a lot of people, but I was fine. But then we got kicked out. Yeah, I forgot about that. You're not a real libertarian until you get kicked out of a mall. That's so funny. You're not a real libertarian until you get kicked out of a mall with Spike Cohen.
So,
oh, that's funny.
So tell us a little, like, you're running for, I should have done better notes, mayor, correct?
Of East Stroudsburg.
Yes, sir. East Mudsburg, yes.
East Mudsburg, yeah, East Mudsburg, Pennsylvania. The famous East Mudsburg.
The famous East Mudsburg of the well-known East Mudsburg Penguin franchise.
That's right, and much better than West Mudsburg.
Oh gosh,
much better than West Mudsburg. Oh. We don't talk about West Mudsburg.
We definitely don't talk about West Mudsburg. Makes me sick, really, what's happening over there in West Mudsburg. So tell us about how you plan to save East Stroudsburg from West. Is there a West Stroudsburg, or is it just?
There's a regular Stroudsburg, and we are East Stroudsburg. Although one of the things I plan on doing is invading Stroudsburg and uniting both Stroudsburgs. One of my campaign slogans is actually make Stroudsburg East again. So we're gonna do that.
Yes.
Got some other minor things I want to try to get done, like decriminalizing marijuana, eliminate the parking meters in front of our businesses, making them free, set up a program to kind of match people up in the wintertime, people who can't shovel or just frankly don't want to, figure out a way to match them up with people who are unemployed or children or whoever wants to make some extra cash doing some shoveling. So minor ideas like that, and abolishing the sale of turkey bacon.
So the big ones there are obviously unifying the Stroudsburgs under the correct and rightful East Stroudsburg order.
Name, right.
And then also making turkey bacon illegal, and then but also decriminalizing marijuana, which to me that seems like a good trade-off. Like you can smoke weed, but then but no turkey bacon.
Yeah, and quite frankly, I'm even willing to go a step further. I don't care what you smoke, just stop buying turkey bacon. It's a disgrace. It's pathetic. We've come too far as a society to still be allowing stuff like that. In my opinion,
really evolved past. It's
what's your opinion
literally
on
2021.
On faking?
Yeah, fake bacon.
What do you think my opinion might be of that, Matt? Come on. If it's not real bacon, you need to get it out of my face.
All right, I'm down. I just want to make sure that we're being consistent here.
Hey, I'm consistent, man. I like bacon, real bacon. Get that weak stuff out of here.
Now, what about beef bacon? Because I actually think beef bacon tastes better than pork bacon. And to be clear, beef bacon is the same cut as pork bacon, just on a cow instead of a pig, whereas turkey bacon is just processed turkey.
Yeah, beef bacon's fine, as long as it's not some whack garbage that says, "Oh, look, it's healthier." I don't eat bacon because I'm trying to be healthy. I eat bacon because I'm depressed and I want to eat a whole pound of meat right now. So,
cured meat.
Of cured meat.
Oh, yeah. My cholesterol is way too healthy. Like, we need to jack those numbers up.
My cholesterol is not way too healthy, but yet I will still eat a pound of bacon.
Yeah, I should say I assume mine is healthy. I
was going to say, with your diet, can we make that assumption? I mean, you've talked a lot about bacon during what should be a political interview, and I'm concerned
in all fairness,
that it's possible that your cholesterol might not be, and your blood pressure too might not be quite as good as you're presuming it to be.
You started your campaign on cheesy bread, so I mean, can you really?
And do you see me over here claiming to be healthy? I have never. I have MS. I have terrible health. Like who am I? Like I would never. I'm Spike Cohen, and I'm super healthy. That's why I have a neurodegenerative disease.
I feel like you're probably still in considerably better shape than I am.
That's probably true. Listen, I mean, although I will say, like, we were both happy to be in air conditioning. What was that? What city were we in when we were doing that in the mall?
Scranton,
Scantron. Sorry, how could I forget we were in Scantron?
The home of Michael Scott, man.
Yeah, where I had just taken a photo. So this is relevant to your campaign since we're doing this. I was at. They wanted to take a badass photo of me in front of the paper company thing or whatever. No one told me that my tie was like at my 7 inches above my navel. And
your
so
tie
let me
looked
pull
ridiculous.
up this jackass photo. Hold on a second. Let me find this nonsense.
It looked like a child wearing his first tie for Easter.
I am
or something. It
so
was not
angry
good.
at this photo.
Anytime
oh my
that
gosh,
photo comes
it's
across
so
Facebook,
bad. Oh my
laugh so
lord, let me
much.
pull this nonsense.
I will point out for everyone though that this man appeared to be wearing like gator shoes or something, and he looked.
I was,
like a
gator
certified
skins.
pimp.
Yeah, no, I was, certified pimp with my younger brother's tie on. Let me. This was so. Let me get this damn photo. Oh my gosh, this made me so angry. And it was all over. It was such a hit on my social media, and everyone's like, "Hey, nice ties, schmuck." Look at this garbage. Look at this.
And then they turned it into a meme where they like added length to your tie. So
They added length to the tie.
Like,
yeah, no, look at it, why? And then the
not good,
angle, which made it even worse. Like, why did no one say anything? It was after this that I realized I needed to learn to tie my own ties. And I did.
It kind of looks like in that photo you were about to drop a dope mixtape. And speaking of, that actually reminds me, Spike, release the mixtape now.
And no one gets hurt?
I didn't say that.
Listen,
I mean, people
I'm
might
going
still get
to
hurt.
here's what I'm going to do. Okay? I'm going to play
birthday,
the
man.
first I'm going to play the first track from my mixtape right now, okay? Legitimately right now, because you asked and because it's your birthday, I am going to play.
I told people that I would deliver,
get us
and I
kicked off
have.
of YouTube, don't you?
No, this is definitely not going to get us kicked off of YouTube, I promise you. I mean,
It definitely
might. It definitely will not. Hold on.
Don't
This
trust
is
this guy. You got us kicked out of the
track
mall.
number 1 of. Why is this not working? Hold on. Let me get my thing. It's the
tech guy.
Yeah. So this is. All right,
Fucking
hold on.
Steven.
This stamp. All right. This is the first track on my mixtape for everyone to listen to right now, okay? Happy birthday, by the way. This is it right here.
And that's no lie. If you don't believe me, ask my mom. She's over there with that man. She makes me call dad. But he's not my dad. That's scary. My real dad ran away. Oh, Daddy, what did I do to make you not love me? Is it my obesity? Is it because I love the theater? Why? Why did you leave me with Scary?
Thank you, Clarence. I think we're all done searching for the mixtape now. I think that's how you got it to go away. We all heard that and we're like, all right.
Now everyone leave me alone. That is actually the first track of my mixtape.
So tell me a little bit about the voting demographic in your area.
Oh, we're still doing this? Okay.
Yes, you're still running for office.
I thought that was all a joke. Anyway, yeah, we have a Democratic incumbent. I'd say the borough itself leans, if I had to guess, not looking at literally any official numbers, 60-40 Democrat probably. But and the guy who's currently mayor is a good dude. Nothing wrong with him, but hey, we could always use some more libertarian ideas.
Yes.
In office, and he's ran unopposed the past, I think, 2 elections. So I see that. I'm like, nah, you gotta at least have some competition.
You gotta have someone running against it. Yeah. I can't stand that when it's like there's only one person running. Why? Is it because everyone agrees with what they're doing? No, that's just no one runs.
And I need like 16 signatures. So like, why wouldn't you just have somebody run?
Is
like,
that the threshold? Is 16 signatures?
16 and a half, 2% of the winners total. And luckily, since he ran unopposed, he only got like 700 votes last time. So that kind of made it easier to run this time.
Wow.
And no one else is running against this guy.
Not yet that I know of. To be
So
totally
the
honest,
civic engagement in East Stroudsburg is clearly very high because 16, no one was able to cross the 16 and a half vote threshold to run for mayor.
Well, once I become mayor, everybody's going to be kind of high at Eastburg because we're going to decriminalize that.
That can be one of one of your promises. You can say, when I'm done here, everyone's going to be higher than our 16 and a half vote threshold. Huh? And you do that every time. You go, huh? Like that.
Gain those 16 signatures.
Yeah, I'm gonna need Spike up. I might if we have Jorgensen's phone number, if she can come up, that'd be great. We just need everybody, all hands on deck. It's gonna be tough.
I can definitely come up there and get you the 16 and a half signatures myself.
Perfect.
Just by playing that track on my mixtape. And saying I won't stop playing it until I'll follow them around and say, I'm not playing this. I'm not going to stop playing this until you sign this thing. And they'll be like, what is this? I'll be like, it doesn't matter. Just sign it. It's the thing that stops the music. That's what it is.
I'm worried if you play your mixtape here, they'll just cancel the election and make me mayor permanently.
Listen, I'd love to help you in that way.
Yeah, you're a generous man, Spike Cohen.
So before we get started, hey, by the way, do you have time to stick around and do the show with us?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, cool. Let's do that. Are you cool with that, Matt?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
okay,
Matt, you can actually just take off. It'll be me and Spike. We're good, man. We don't.
You're the guy. For your birthday, you get to be guy on left. Actually, you're guy on right. For your birthday, you get to be guy on right.
Yeah.
And I'm guy on left.
You're Spike Cohen.
Yeah, you're Spike Cohen.
Do I have to have like really bad looking bangs or whatever to be the guy on the right?
Yeah, no, definitely do something about that hair. That looks way too good and kempt. You have to pull that sucker down. You gotta comb that sucker down.
You gotta get Tasha, like, you just let her have a pair of scissors and like let her fix that thing, man. Like it's not good.
She won't touch my hair. Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad.
I think you'd be president right now if you just clean that up.
If I didn't have these bangs, yeah, no, I don't have a compelling argument against
for the
that.
last 4 years, and you think that Spike's hair is what stopped him?
That's, you know what, I didn't really get made fun of my hair that much during the campaign until after the campaign, and I do think it was because, compared to what, Donald Trump?
Okay, well, two things. One, you didn't get made fun of that you heard. And two, I think if you said more racist things while you had bad hair, it would be okay.
Oh, okay. So if it's like, yeah, your hair sucks, and I'm like, okay, but also I hate Mexicans, and they're like, oh, all right, well then, yeah, okay, all right, no, that makes sense. No, because then it's on brand, right? Like, to be racist and have terrible hair is okay.
They won't notice that they won't even notice your hair when they're like reeling from like some racist diatribe you went off on, like about the Vietnamese or something, like. Wow.
Oh yeah, and I got to pick something like being racist against Mexicans is completely played out. I'd have to pick like a really a very unrepresented ethnic group in this country. Which kind of makes it worse, because then there's only like 12 of them, and they're like, what the hell, what do we do?
What do we do to you?
Wait, why us? What is your problem? So I'm not going to do that.
Be super specific and take like 4 different ethnicities, but like they have to meet like the whole criteria, like Irish Americans from Mexico who were born in March. Screw them.
And are left-handed. Like, and really so it ends up being like 6 people who are like, what the hell? And they're like getting emailed and stuff like, Spike Cohen hates you. And like, what? Who? So anyway, speaking of obscure racism, we now go on to our next segment, which is the black cold brewed caffeinated rapid fire segment brought to you by Black Brews, cold brewed organic coffee, spelled BLVCK, because nothing matters anymore, and we spell things however the hell we want. It's 2021. You care about spelling? Loser. Black is the most delicious cold brewed organic coffee to ever be horrifically misspelled. Go to blackbrews.com, BLVCKbrews.com, and get yours today. And be sure to use the code MW, which also spells coffee now. Who the hell cares? Use code MW to get free shipping on your Black product. Matt, we have some breaking news. Matt, where's the breaking news, Matt? We do. This one. We have some blacking news. Some blacking news here. So we're back at war in Syria. Well, that's good. I mean, it's not as though the U.S. military the Pentagon has ever lied about the pretext for starting a war in a country or anything like that. I mean, they can't hear you. What'd I do? They can hear you now. Oh, what happened here? What did I do? There we go. So, say all that again.
So, about 20 minutes before the show started, Biden ordered airstrikes in al-Bukamal, Syria, near the border of Iraq.
And so now what I said makes perfect sense.
Yes. Reports say they were targeting facilities used by Iranian-backed militia groups, and this was in retaliation for a rocket attack on February 15th that killed one civilian contractor and wounded a U.S. service member and other contractors.
So, yeah. And like I said before, this is very common. Joel, you fully trust the military-industrial complex, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't think of many things I would trust more than the government. Maybe gas station sushi or
Yes.
Spike saying we're going to go live on a Tuesday.
Ouch.
Hey, sorry, man. I had to bring the heat there.
Well, you did. You did.
Yeah.
Kind of hurts.
Now, according to
hurts,
earlier reports...
Go ahead.
According to earlier reports, it wasn't clear if what damage was caused or if there were any casualties in this attack. But again, most of this is coming from the U.S. government that's saying these things. And you trust the stripper that says you don't need a condom. Just ask Hunter Biden.
This took a turn far to the left.
This is...
Man.
We're going to get accused of being worse than the actual airstrikes. This is... How did this happen? So, speaking of airstrikes, yeah, I mean, listen, this kind of stuff isn't going to end until we bring the troops home. When you have occupations happening that are never going to end, it leads people to attack that occupation, or some would say defend themselves against that occupation. It's never going to end. This is just another reason to bring the troops home, and it's going to be used as a pretext to expand things in Syria. I hope that this is just a limited thing, and that this isn't, a pretext for invasion. But they've been pushing for an invasion for a while.
This was an attack for Iraq, and they hit a Syrian. Because of the attack in Iraq, we hit them in Syria. I think that, according to what reports were saying, which I had to, I was reading things right.
They were coming out right as we were going live.
Right.
Yeah.
So, according to the reports that I was seeing, they decided to do this as a strategic attack in order to not escalate the tensions any further, which I don't know how bombing a city in Syria won't escalate tensions in Iraq, but I do a podcast and I don't do, foreign policy. But that was what their reasoning was. They said that they chose this area in Syria because a lot of the Iranian militia-backed people Iranian-backed militias are staying there, and they went after their facilities, but they didn't want to kill anybody, which I don't know why you would do that. Yep.
Well, Trump did that though. Or no, Trump took out the Iranian general, and then the Iranian government launched missiles, but didn't target anyone.
I can say that as mayor of East Stroudsburg, I will not be attacking Syria in any capacity. Unless they start something, and then I will get them. But
by the way, okay, well that's good to know for the people of East Stroudsburg. Now, real quick, how can people reach you if they want to help your campaign? Like, where are you?
That's a great idea. We made it this far without me actually plugging the reason I'm here. You can help me and my campaign at www.getz, Getz, the number 4, mayor.com. You can see where I stand on the issues. You can read a little bit about me. You'll be able to see some endorsements coming soon. And more importantly, you can donate, because yard signs apparently do not come in for free. You do have to spend a bunch of money on them.
Not yet.
Yeah. But the good news is Spike Cohen said he would personally match any donations made in the month of March, which is not true, but
up to 1,000 Dogecoin. I will match any donation up to 1,000 Dogecoin. This is actually a really good website.
I should shout out Michelle Tiroli for that. She's the one who took the pictures. She made the website. And I always tell her I know she's amazing because she made me look like an adult candidate running for office. Which is not easy to do.
This is actually really good. I wanna show the people this real quick.
I'm a little bit hurt that you sound so surprised that it's good.
No, this isn't surprise. I'm just saying.
I've seen a lot of libertarians' campaign sites, and I would be surprised.
That's what I was going to.
That's fair.
You definitely have a part about, as you put it, invade Stroudsburg.
I wasn't messing around, dude. I will.
No, I can tell and you're looking at colonial troops.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that too. When we invade, everyone will be wearing colonial costumes. Oh, yeah, that one's important too.
Eliminate permit requirements.
Yeah, yard sales, sidewalk sales, that kind of stuff. Pretty much if it's you need a permit for it, I just want to get rid of it because it's probably a waste of time.
You have to vote for this man, East Stroudsburg. Here's where you donate. And media, can you put the 38-second clip from our interview Tuesday up on the media?
Yeah, I'm gonna take all of these down and only put the 38-second one. I was also told to say hi from Brian Nichols to you. I was on with him yesterday. That's coming out, I guess, in a couple weeks.
Brian's great. Yeah,
Brian's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a great time talking to him. Spike, while you're on the website there, you could, you just go ahead and donate right there.
I'm definitely gonna write this down for later. Again,
no, right now. Spike.
So my entire fortune was converted into Dogecoin back in January, and I need a Dogecoin link. I can't ethically and for religious reasons. All of my finances are now done through Dogecoin.
Did you just pull the Jewish card so that you wouldn't have to donate to me?
The old Jewish Dogecoin card, yes.
Yeah, that's the oldest trick in the book, Spike.
The oldest Jew trick in the book. That's the oldest Jewish trick in the book. I use a different currency than you.
So, speaking of Brian Nichols, for the last 3 weeks, in the world or in the American political podcast ratings, he has been one above us every week.
That's
Really?
going to change after today.
After today, this is
We've got Joel Getz on.
Brian Nichols. You're
we're
done
going
now.
straight to the moon, baby.
Yeah, he has been one above us
Joel Getz
every single week.
Yeah, no, that ends today.
You guys are going to be number one until about March 8th when my episode with him comes out, which I think might actually somehow have been a little bit more disorganized than this.
I'm going to destroy
we had a good time.
That episode. I won't rest until that episode has been canceled and deleted from the internet. We are not losing. We are overtaking Brian Nichols' place on podcasting.
He doesn't.
I love Brian, man.
He doesn't live.
No,
too
I love
far
Brian
from me.
too. I love Brian
If you
too, but this has to end.
If you send me your mixtape, I will go to his house and destroy our interview.
How many more tracks do you need? I just played a track from my mixtape.
Spike, I don't want a track. I want you to take the playlist and I want you to send it to me in an email.
No, but
that could be your donation.
It's not.
I asked
just,
for that and I didn't get it.
No one's getting it. My wife asked for it. I am actually she didn't. She could care less about this. But if she had, I wouldn't have. This isn't a like just a playlist. I remixed these songs.
I understand that. Why do you think we want it so bad, Spike?
Well, granted, but speaking of things that speaking of lashing out against the Supreme Court yesterday, Donald Trump lashed out against the Supreme Court yesterday for failing to block the New York district attorney from seeing his financial records in an ongoing investigation into his business dealings, Matt.
Yeah, that's right. That all happened Monday. Because these notes were from Tuesday. But yeah, that happened Monday. And Trump called it a fishing expedition and part of the greatest political witch hunt in history. Part of the greatest... It's the greatest political witch hunt in all of history. Just fantastic. Okay. But nobody knew that because he's not on social media. Today...
Who did he say this to?
I don't know.
He walked outside and just
screamed it into the air. This is the
greatest witch hunt in all of human history, and then went back inside.
Right. Today, the New York DA did get these records, these financial records and tax documents, and it's over 1 million pages.
What?
Yep. It is over 1 million pages. I think that they just sent him literally everything. They're just burying him.
He used the Saddam strategy. So
yeah.
when the International Atomic Energy Association or whoever it was in charge of verifying Saddam's compliance with the WMD thing, or the UN required Saddam to release his WMD evidence, he released like tens of millions of pages. He gave them, it was like trucks full of paper, and they had to go through it, and there was nothing there. But it was like, it was just like he just was like, oh, okay, I probably gave them everything that was of no value. That is funny.
This was reported on CNBC since I didn't update the notes. It just says millions of pages. That's all it says is millions of pages. They just sent everything.
They sent everything. That's funny.
Probably mostly like photocopies of somebody's like ass, and they're just like, yeah, just throw those in there too. Have them.
It's just a bunch of the Steele dossier reprinted over and over and over again.
It's
shuffled in.
It is the phrase "greatest political witch hunt in history," but each page it's tilted 1 degree. So if you flip it, it slowly rotates around in a circle, and does that like 12 or 13 times. That's like about 20,000 pages. Oh man, that's funny. So another thing that came out that shocks no one is that Malcolm X's family have made public a letter that was written by a deceased police officer named Ray Wood, who states that the NYPD and the FBI were behind Malcolm X's 1965 killing. Again, surprising absolutely, literally 0% of people.
Yeah, Wood's letter said, under the direction of my handlers, I was told to encourage leaders and members of the civil rights group to commit felonious acts, which I believe is entrapment. I will have to confer with Catherine Zeta-Jones, but I'm pretty certain that is entrapment. Why the weird look? Is that a reference that nobody gets?
Is that like a movie?
I'm not so I don't know what it means.
She was in a movie called Entrapment with Sean Connery. And there was a very famous scene of her practicing going through laser.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did this movie have like sound? Was this like way back in the day, or like what are you doing, man?
It was like 10 years ago.
No,
well, shit.
No, it was actually like 22 years ago, but anyway.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was in 1999. We're just so
wow. You were close.
Yeah, no, we're old, man. I'm old. I don't know about you. I'm old.
All right. No more Catherine Zeta-Jones references.
Maybe you could.
Yeah, like most of our audience
Charlie
wasn't alive when that movie came out. If you want to be depressed again. So we know that the government, so a jury unanimously concluded after looking at evidence that the government was behind the killing of Martin Luther King. We know from released COINTELPRO documents that they assassinated and slandered Fred Hampton, who was a Black Panthers leader who was unifying different racially based groups behind the idea of anti-authoritarianism. We know that they put Leonard Peltier in prison on bogus charges. We know that there'd be no reason to doubt at least the possibility that the FBI and the NYPD conspired with certain members of the Nation of Islam to assassinate Malcolm X. So there's no real surprise there. Speaking of no real surprise, Ted Cruz decided not to stay in Texas and use his magic zodiac powers to stop the snowstorm, Matt.
Yeah, a lot of people freaked out about this story about Ted Cruz leaving to go to Cancun, and I didn't. I was like, that's what I would do. I would leave because
I get that. Okay, so in contrast,
it's terrible for optics. It's terrible for optics.
And if you want to say that you're a leader in Texas, then you would, at the very least, you would be focused on coordinating efforts to try to help the people in Texas that are being affected by this historic snowstorm. Even if you choose to personally leave Texas and go somewhere where you're able to, make sure that you have power the whole time so you can better coordinate efforts, whatever. But like, you went to Cancun. Like, he was just like, oh, weather's going to be really, really bad. All right, I'm going. Now, I don't think it's possible that he didn't realize just how historic of a snowstorm this was going to be. Right. He just decided to take a vacation because the weather was going to be bad, which, I mean, who hasn't done that, who's been able to? But he also left his poodle behind, which kind of bothered me.
I will make two promises. When I am mayor, not only will I not be a prolific serial killer, I will also prevent it from snowing.
Will you allow your father to kill JFK?
I'm gonna have to say no to that, being that he's dead already. So it seems
I'm not
like
supporting you. I can't support you anymore. I'm so sorry.
All right, then he's dead. Screw it.
Okay, all right, good. No, I'm back. I'm back. You got me back.
I will completely sell out for money. So yeah,
you've got me back. You've got me back.
I did forget to mention it to you, Spike. I've been telling people for a $100 donation, you can come to Eastburg and commit a misdemeanor crime. You will be arrested, but I personally won't stop you. So you could just a free pass to do whatever you want if you donate to the campaign.
But it's not a free pass because they're still going to get arrested.
Because they're still going to get arrested.
No, you get a pass from me though, so I can't control anybody else, you know. But,
Oh, like you're not going to personally stop them.
Yeah.
But you're also not going to stop the police from arresting them.
Well, I mean, no. But just give me your money, okay? It's not. Come on. You're making this tough. Just give me a. You're making it sound like a stick up here.
No, it sounds like you're encouraging other people to do stick-ups. Or at least saying you won't stop them. But to be clear, I mean, who here has ever said, if you commit a misdemeanor, I will physically stop you? So really, you're just monetizing on that.
Right.
I prefer to, yeah, I mean, I look at it as innovative, but sure, yeah.
It certainly is an innovation. So AOC, credit where credit's due. She raised over $5 million in donations for Texas, proving once again that we need government to do things that are charitable for people, because voluntary action just won't ever happen.
That's right. She said 100% of the money raised through her grassroots donor network will go directly to help Texans. The funds will be split among 10 relief organizations, including food, housing, and elder care support. And good on her. Good on her.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
J.J. Watt does something similar. I'm not sure if he will after he got cut, but he does something similar often whenever there's a tragedy in Texas. And whenever you have people, I don't care if you're politicians or private citizens, if you're raising money, if you are using your fame and your network to, you have a weird look on your face.
Yeah, go ahead. They're saying the sound's bad.
Oh, well, yeah, it's Skype.
Yeah, but they're saying it's bad now. Hold on, folks. Is it better now?
So,
go ahead.
Who do we blame for this, Steven?
Yes. So, it's better now. Yeah, okay. All right, cool.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, anytime somebody, any person, I don't care if you're a politician or a private citizen, anytime that you go out and you raise money without the aid of government, and you give 100% of that to the people that you are raising it for, good on you.
Yes.
Absolutely good on you.
Yep. No, absolutely. We are very, very happy about that. I think if it were me, I'd do a power play and donate like $1,000 to the local humane society in Ted Cruz's area in the name of his poodle. Just flex on him.
That's actually fair.
I would do that.
That's
I would do this
actually
one's
fair.
for Sparky. This is Sparky Cruz. I'm gonna find out what Ted Cruz's poodle's name.
Please be Snowflake. Please be Snowflake the poodle.
Spike, since you're an animal lover, I should tell you I did recently.
Oh my gosh, it's Snowflake.
Holy sh! There's no way that's true. That's amazing. Matt Wright, the legend.
Oh, that is
Apparently
amazing.
showing a 2014 Facebook post by Cruz, apparently showing a picture of the dog, identifies it as a rescue puppy named, aptly enough, Snowflake, gender unknown. Which is a weird name. Snowflake, gender unknown. Yeah, there we go, yeah. A few weeks ago, as they were going to bed, Carolyn and Kathleen prayed, "Dear Jesus, please, please, please bring us a puppy." Well, meet Snowflake, a rescue puppy who has made two little girls unbelievably happy. And so to show how much we care, we're going to leave Snowflake outside during a snowstorm. Because they didn't specify when they said, "Please, Jesus, bring us a puppy." They didn't say, "And we won't neglect it in sub-zero temperatures."
It should have been more specific for sure.
It should have been more specific. Those kids learned a powerful lesson there about character. So speaking of which, speaking of character,
breaking news: Spike Cohen is against animal abuse.
Yeah, breaking news. For anyone who didn't know that. So speaking of which, speaking of So our next segment is the personal injury attorney, Chris Reynolds, attorney at law, anchor call-in moment, where we take your calls, your questions. We certainly aren't taking calls. Would take your messages that you leave on our anchor by going to anchor.fm.com. Anchor, just not even .com. Anchor.fm/muddied waters. And there's a button that you can press to leave a message there. It's called Leave a Message. I don't know what the button says, but you do it to leave a message, and you can leave us messages, and we will answer your messages live on the air right here on the personal injury attorney, Chris Reynolds, attorney at law, anchor call-in moment. Now, you can also leave us donations there by pressing another button there that says leave us donate. I don't know what that button says, but it has donations on there somewhere. It says donate or something similar to that. And now you do not have to make a donation for us to play your messages on the air, but we will like you more. So,
very true.
Here are our questions. What's that?
Now Spike Cohen's asking for donations after he refused to publicly donate to me, but whatever.
Well, again, I said I need the Dogecoin option. So we have two questions, both of them from Alex Boyer. Boyer? From Alex Boyer. And here's the first one.
Virginia.
Hello, Alex from Virginia.
Oh, y'all can't hear that, can you?
Personal injury.
You can't hear that, can you?
I can now. Oh, no, I can't hear that. I cannot hear that.
You should have just pretended to be able to hear it and then just answered a random question.
Spike would have been like, Matt, what are your thoughts? I'd be like, I agree with what you said.
That's a tricky situation that has to be handled delicately.
I am, yes, that's an excellent point, but I think there are many sides to this subject. So I'm making an executive decision. We're going to postpone the personal injury attorney, Chris Reynolds, attorney at law, anchor call-in moment until next week because Skype sucks and we hate it.
Yes.
Yes. So we'll go to our next segment, which is that Joe Biden was once again in front of a camera, and that ends poorly very often. So he took part in a town hall hosted by Anderson Cooper, Matt.
Yeah, last week, probably. It may have been Thursday. It may have been a week ago today. And
Wow.
CNN, to their credit, have been pointing out all of the lies that he told during the event.
Oh, gosh. I have to... Hold on. Wait. Hold on. There we go. You just keep on.
You put them all on the other frame, didn't you?
Yep.
So, yep.
There we go.
Yep. So CNN is actually fact-checking Joe Biden on what he said at their town hall, which personally surprised the hell out of me. Now, we're going to go into a couple of things that he said, some of the stuff that CNN covered, and a few things that weren't covered by CNN. Starting with, Biden said that the $7.25 per hour federal minimum wage is too low. And then said soon
Fact
after...
check, false. No, oh, sorry. Oh, go ahead.
And then he said soon after, CNN, false. It's not true. It's not what the federal minimum wage is. And then he said soon after, for example, if we gradually increased it when we indexed it at 720, if we kept it indexed to inflation, this is me. I'm not making this up. This is what the quote is. To inflation, people would be making $20 an hour right now. That's what it would be. To which CNN said, no. Today's federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour, which took effect in 2009, would not even be close to $20 per hour if Congress had decided to link it to inflation. Adjusted for inflation, $7.25 in 2009 was equal to $8.98. We'll call it $9 in January of 2021. So he was off by 100%.
100, like over 100, yeah, 100,
yeah, like 110.
10%, yeah.
He was off by 110% there. Now, obviously,
I think what he's trying to say is people will reference what the minimum wage was in the 60s, and say that if that had continued to rise to inflation, it would be like $23, which makes me wonder, why the hell is our money worth that much less? Maybe we could explore that number.
Because it's not made with real metal anymore.
No, because it's made out of monopoly money.
Right.
And in contrast, Bitcoin, I'm doing a libertarian Bitcoin thing now. Bitcoin or Dogecoin is worth several tens of thousands of times what it was worth. In fact, let's talk about Bitcoin. So the federal minimum wage went into effect in 2009, $7.25. Hey, guess what also happened in 2009? Bitcoin. So
I will accept one Bitcoin as a donation as well. Just one single coin. That's a bargain.
I will also accept one. So to put it in perspective, in 2010, someone bought a pizza for like 100,000 Bitcoin or something like that, some ridiculous amount of Bitcoin. Okay? And more than likely, that pizza company said, ha, 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 and then like threw the flash drive away because, whatever.
I think it was Papa John's, so probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't, they'd now be the most powerful company on earth right now. A Bitcoin used to be worth fractions of a penny and is now worth what's it worth? What does it crash to most recently? Bitcoin has recently crashed down to 46,661, retracing lows it hasn't seen since 8 days ago. How can you people still be using this currency when it keeps crashing?
What's it at?
46.6.
That pizza cost $466 million.
Let me see what the amount of that's
10,000.
What was good.
It was
better
10,000.
ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's, right?
Better ingredients, a little bit of racism, Papa John's.
Yeah, the pizza cost
so
about $30, and he needed 10,000 Bitcoins to pay for it.
And now you could buy it with fractions of a fraction of a Bitcoin. So maybe it's not the wage, maybe it's the money we're using. Anyway, I'll just leave that out there. Joel, as mayor of East Stroudsburg, do you plan to put East Stroudsburg back on the gold standard?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a toss up between that or just using Bitcoin and Dogecoin. We might just switch to Dogecoin.
That's fine. I would move to a city that switched to the Dogecoin standard.
Yeah, or maybe I'll just make my own currency, call it Getzcoin. I don't know, but none of this fake, monopoly money from the Fed. We're definitely done with that.
Getzcoin.
Getzcoin.
Gets that.
Getzcoin.
We'll call it Getz bread.
Getz bread. No, I like it. I would actually rather use that than fiat currency. So there also, he lied. He also said that, here's another statement he made. The vast majority of the people, those 11 million undocumented, they're not Hispanics. They're people who came on a visa, who was able to buy a ticket to get in a plane and didn't go home. They didn't come across the Rio Grande swimming.
Now,
this guy is president.
So CNN fact checked this. And I just realized the insinuation that he made with this statement. He said Hispanics can't afford plane tickets.
Yeah, that they have to swim here.
Yeah.
Across the Rio Grande.
I read this like 20 times the other day when I was doing the notes, and it didn't even occur to me that he said Hispanics aren't able to buy tickets.
Because he didn't name another race. He didn't say it was Asians who did this or it was Europeans who did this. He said they're not Hispanics. They're people who were able to buy a ticket.
They didn't come
as
across
opposed to
Rio Grande
swimming here. So the people that will say things like, I'm so glad that Donald Trump's gone and we have some civility and intelligence and we don't have to listen to racist remarks. I'm like, you've never actually listened to Joe Biden talk, have you? Like, ever.
Oh.
Like, ever. So, putting aside the inherent racism in his statement, CNN did fact check that he was wrong to claim that the majority of undocumented immigrants are not Hispanic. It's the numbers are not exact. It is obviously difficult to compile comprehensive statistics on a population group of people that aren't here legally. According to the Migration Policy Institute think tank, they estimated in 2018 that 73% of undocumented people in the U.S. speak Spanish at home, and 68 are from Mexico and the Central America region alone, with an additional 7% from South America. That doesn't include those who are from Latino Latin American islands, such as the Dominican Republic and Cuba. Pew Research found that the Mexican share of the undocumented population has fallen over time, but that people from Latin America still make up 77% of the undocumented population back in 2017. There were certainly many people who, as Joe said, was able to afford, and he used bad grammar too, was able to buy a ticket to get in a plane and didn't go home and didn't come across here a swimming.
So I want to address something in the comments really quick. All of these quotes that we are using are actual Joe Biden quotes. The only way that we are messing them up is when we start laughing reading them. These are real quotes. You can find them on whitehouse.gov.
Do you think Joe Biden gets away with it because it's almost like his kind of racism is like almost the cute kind of racism where like your drunk senile uncle will like start screaming about Mexicans at like Thanksgiving dinner and you're like, oh, okay, why don't you go lay down?
I guess so. I mean, I think honestly a lot of it is people don't actually listen to what people say anymore. They hear what their favorite social media pundits say about what politicians say. So like,
I'm sorry, I didn't listen to that. I can't see your face, Mike, so I hope you're laughing as well, but I know Matt is.
Wait, why can't you see my face? Oh, you know what? I can't.
Probably because I have a MacBook from like 2004. I don't know.
Oh, that could do it. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's probably what's doing. What do you see?
I just see Matt's wonderful hair.
Oh.
Yes, you got it. It'll go between just Matt, or then it'll have Matt on the left and then you on the right. But
oh, so like when I'm talking, you then see the screen. Okay, I see what. Okay, good. So then next he said, and I came back and said they're going to end their one China, their one child policy because they're so xenophobic. They won't let anybody else in. What I like about this quote is I doubt this is an extension of another sentence. I think he just started, like someone asked him a question and he's like, and I came back and said they're going to end their one child policy because they're so xenophobic they won't let anybody. Actually, he said end their one China, and then he said their one child policy because they're so xenophobic they won't let anybody else in, and more people are retired than working. So how can they sustain economic growth when more people are retired than working in China?
In China, with the 1 billion people, he said more people are retired than working. In China, it's where actually, everything is made.
It's actually pronounced China.
China.
Yeah. So 707. Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. CNN fact checked this as well, and they said that it's not even close. That there are more people working than in retirement. China reported having about 775 million employed people at the end of 2019, and have reported 254 million people age 60 or above the normal retirement benefits age for men.
So an almost 3-to-1 ratio. No, a more than 3-to-1 ratio. Retired to or working to retired, and he was saying that this happened when he was vice president. So like 10 years ago,
Right.
when China's workforce was even younger, so the numbers were even more skewed towards that. Well, thankfully, that's just a different cultural norm. So then the next thing he said was, we came into office, there was only 50... Can this man not speak English correctly?
No, he can't. Yeah.
We came into office, there was only 50 million doses that was available. And then moments later he said, we got into office and found out the supply, there was no backlog. I mean, there was nothing in the refrigerator, figuratively and literally speaking. How would you figuratively say there's nothing in the... And there were 10 million doses a day that were available.
So he went from 50 million to nothing.
To nothing, figuratively and literally. How was that? It's, that old yarn about nothing being in the fridge. Then later, soon after that, he told Anderson Cooper, but when you and I talked last, we talked about it's one thing to have the vaccine, which we didn't have when we came into office. Wow.
It actually hurts my brain just listening to you read it. I mean, this is not...
So, which we didn't have when we came into office, but a vaccinator, how do you get the vaccine into someone's arm? So in a period of a one town hall, we went from, he came in office, there were 50 million doses, to there was nothing available, but that they were bringing in more doses every day, to then there was no vaccine until he came into office.
Yes. And so apparently he forgot that he was vaccinated in December.
Fake news.
Yeah. He got a shot. He doesn't know what it was for.
That was just to keep him alive. Fun fact, he's actually like Weekend at Bernie's. He actually, I think, passed away several years ago, and they got him on strings and stuff like that.
Did anybody see his press conference today? I can't even tell you what this thing was about. Honestly, that's how bad of a press conference it was. It had something to do with healthcare, I think. I don't know. But in it, it's, if you find it, I should post it, but I don't know where I have that link saved. But he's talking, and he says, at like 4 minutes in, he starts talking about a computer chip. And he's like, we have more computer chips now. He pulls a computer chip out of his pocket to show it. And he's like, you probably can't see it. And it's like, no, it's a computer chip. And you're 9 feet away from the camera. You look like you're just holding your fingers this far apart. I kind of feel bad for the guy because they're just parading this out. But
I was going to say, like, we're sitting here fact-checking someone who has no clue that he said any of this.
Yes.
Like, this just seems like the biggest, like, we are hyper-focusing. This statement he made is factually inaccurate. And he's like, I don't know who I am, man. Let me tell you, man. I met a guy, his name was Salami Sandwich. And he was a bad man. Like, I mean, his
name was Pornhub.
He was a bad boy. Salami Sandwich. Like, and we was friends. Like, and this... Like, there is, and then we're like, Joe Biden was inaccurate about the ratio of workers to retirees in China. And he's like, he's in the corner, like, skippity-doo-dah. Like, he doesn't, like,
and yet we're going to continue doing it.
There's more. Not only did he say skippity-doo-dah, but then he said that there is a consensus among economists, left, right, and center, that we can't spend too much. That's even worse then skippity doodah.
I think it would be a fun game if you took hallucinogenics and then listened to a Joe Biden press conference.
Oh, buddy, that's dangerous.
That's really like you honestly would have no idea if it was the drugs or just Joe Biden.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't like watching him sober because I get flashbacks to being high. Like I can't imagine.
He is from
Actually-
and he is from Scranton, so maybe he's the reason you got kicked out of the mall.
He's the reason that I was wearing that god awful tie.
But Spike, speaking of Scranton,
Joe Biden did this.
Matt Hicks pointed out. Do you remember taking the pictures in front of the Trump headquarters?
Oh yeah, and there was dog poop or something.
Yeah,
I remember something.
There was a steaming pile of dog crap in the corner next to the window of the Trump headquarters in Scranton, and we took pictures. I was flipping off the Trump flag, and you were like, "Should I do it too?" And both Matt and LaQuinn were like, "No."
No, I think I pointed at the dog poop. Like,
yeah. There was, so we kind of took a picture with dog crap while we were in Scranton, which is almost as funny as getting kicked out of a mall. But
I assume that was part of the Scranton pilgrimage. That and wearing a tie that's 7 inches long.
yeah, it is. That's part of the charm of Scranton is you just never know when you're gonna find feces on the sidewalk, and then if you do, the next part of the game is it from a dog or a person? We don't know.
Beautiful.
That's probably a much more difficult game to play in Scranton than it is in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It is an accurate statement, yes.
So he said that there was consensus among economists left, right, and center that we can't spend too much, which is, I got fact-checked about a joke about the CIA giving weapons to us. And this man's walking around saying that there isn't a single economist that thinks that the government is spending too much or can spend too much. But that led to this exchange between Anderson Cooper and Joe Biden. Cooper says, well, let me ask you, your administration had set a goal to open the majority of schools in your first 100 days. You're now saying that means those schools may only be open for at least 1 day a week. Biden says, no, that's not true. That's what was reported. That's not true. That was a mistake in the communication. But what I'm talking about is I said opening the majority of schools in K through 8th grade because they're the easiest to open, the most needed to be open in terms of the impact on children and families having to stay home. Well,
now I want to say
we're gonna have to circle back.
This was his most coherent sentence. That was his most coherent sentence, and it was just so incredibly wrong.
Yeah, it was wrong. It was completely wrong. Let's circle back to Jens Psaki, which is Polish for circle back, and who said that his goal that he set is to have the majority of schools, so more than 50%, open by day 100 of his presidency, and that means some teaching in classrooms, so at least 1 day a week. Hopefully it's more, and obviously it is as much as is safe in each school and local district. Later she put it this way, teaching at least 1 day a week in a majority of schools by day 100. When asked about free college, this is another thing. So then when asked about free college, Biden said everyone should be able to go to community college for free. For free! That costs $9 billion. Nope. That costs $9 billion. It doesn't. And we should pay for it. And the tax policies we have now, we should be able to pay for you. That sentence doesn't. This is so bad. You spend almost that much money as a break for people who own racehorses.
$9 billion as a tax break for people who own racehorses, but there is absolutely zero evidence of that. And not only did whatever site I got that fact from, that did they check, but I also started looking for tax breaks for racehorses and whether or not it would equal $9 billion. And no, I don't think that I'm not sure how he got that figure. I have no clue. I think he may have just pulled that one right on out of the keister.
So the includes it. So depreciating allows people to write. Okay, so there is it's not a tax break. There is a. They allow you to depreciate the value of racehorses as they age. So that's not really a tax break. It's just letting them depreciate an asset. It definitely is not $9 billion.
It's not $9 billion.
No, it's probably not even 9 million. Wow. But then, so, and yeah, college for free is definitely going to cost more than $9 billion. But then, so CNN, gosh, what good. CNN didn't fact check this. Wow. But Joe did, he then, after he said that Hispanics can't afford plane tickets, then he said this.
The other portion is a lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas,
Matt, just do a voiceover.
Y'all can't
inner
hear this.
city
Why the heck
districts
can't you?
know
My
how
buddy
to
Corn Pop used to
know how to
shoot
get
up
online
at the
to
schoolyard.
determine how to get in line for that COVID
bad dude.
vaccination at the Walgreens
I
or
just pooped my
at
pants.
the particular store.
So because Matt and Joel couldn't hear this, what Joe Biden said was that
I was going to say, I know what he said there.
he said people of color don't know how to use the internet and therefore aren't going to be able to register online to get the COVID vaccine at the Walgreens.
At the Walgreens. People in communities, black communities and Hispanic communities, don't know how to use the internet, and they can't register to get online to register at their local Walgreens to get the vaccine or something along those lines. And after realizing just today that he said Hispanics can't afford plane tickets,
now, breaking news, Joe Biden has responded with a very powerful statement apologizing for his misstatements during this town hall.
And I had a nurse nurses at Walter Reed Hospital who would bend down and whisper in my ear and go home and get me pillows. They would make sure they'd actually, probably nothing ever taught in, you can't do it in the COVID time, but they'd actually breathe in my nostrils to make me move, to get me moving.
You couldn't hear that either, could you?
no, but I know that one by heart.
Yeah, but Joel doesn't. So, very powerful
Are you
statement
saying
there.
I'm not a real libertarian, Spike?
No, you're not. So
You are Spike Cohen.
that's
so
all
I
we
will-
have for this. By the way, that's all we have for this episode.
That is all we have for this episode. I was looking forward to doing a very short
am I
episode.
Yeah, you guys don't have me on if you think things are going to run smoothly and efficiently. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Well, once you have Skype and Joel and hiccuping, then it just makes everything it makes everything better. So Joel, hi.
Oh, are we still on?
Yes, yes, we're still on. I don't know why I'm hiccuping, but we're still on. Joel, again, one more time, hit them with that website and social media. How can
How can
tell them how to
people
reach you.
donate? How can people reach you and donate?
If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna talk about that charity I mentioned on
Oh,
Tuesday as well, real
yeah.
quick. You
yes,
can donate
please.
You can donate to my campaign at getsformayor.com. That's GETZ, the number 4 mayor.com. You can find me on Facebook, Getz for Mayor of East Stroudsburg. The Facebook is on my website as well. But also what I want to talk about was when I started doing the politics, I started having the opportunities to do shows like this, and people were giving me a megaphone to yell into. I like to talk about a charity I do work for and I walk for every year to raise money called the AFSP, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Every year is tough for a lot of people, especially wintertime, especially 2020 and now 2021, which is really just 2020 part 2 probably. But they do a ton of great work with educating people on the signs of mental illness, depression, and suicidal thoughts. Your money literally helps save people's lives. I'm super proud to work with them. As someone who suffers from depression, educating yourself is so important in terms of seeing it in yourself and also seeing it in other people. I read a book one time. This guy said, if somebody had just looked him in the eyes and asked how he was doing, he probably would have broken down and told somebody that he was planning on jumping from a bridge that day. So just be kind to people, educate yourselves. You never know that just smiling at somebody that you walk past in the grocery store, you could be saving their life. So check out afsp.org. If you can donate to them and my campaign, that's awesome. If you can only do one, give them the money. They're doing great work. They're saving people's lives, and we'll figure out the campaign stuff. They're doing stuff way more important. And thanks for letting me talk about that. I love that charity. They do great stuff.
No, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. So AFSP, ASFP.
Nope. AF, American Foundation.
AFSP, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I'm going to let Matt talk because I apparently can't control my esophagus.
So on Tuesday, we didn't do our normal Chris Reynolds anchor call-in moment, and we couldn't really do it today because of the audio problems that we only have when we use Skype. But Joshua McHose wanted to know how much salmon he needed to bribe you with for the mixtape. And he asked a question that I reworded. And he wants to know how much smoked salmon could Spike Cohen consume if he still smoked chronic. Because that's how much smoked salmon he is willing to give you for the mixtape.
So I can right now, if I prepare my stomach early in the morning, I can consume no less than 3 pounds of smoked salmon.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I have a problem.
It's such an obscure thing to be addicted to, too. I'm like, people are like, oh, I love pasta. I love pizza. And Spike Cohen's like, I will mess up some smoked salmon, man.
Have you?
He's on next week's episode of My Strange Addiction.
It sounds like such a bougie thing to be addicted to. Like, yes, and I have my caviar right beforehand while you peasants eat your Dominoes.
That's me. I unironically sit and judgmentally eat my sustainably sourced wild-caught Alaskan smoked salmon, while other people are like, "Yeah, I like Funyuns," and I'm. No, that's accurate.
Was that was your 100% accurate impersonation of me?
Of you. Yeah, no, that's you. Yo, look at me. Oh, bagel bites. And I'm like, yeah, I like this fish that was specially
don't talk
sourced.
Shit about bagel bites, Spike. Bagel bites are the nectar of the gods, and that's what keeps me alive, and it's also what's going to kill
Jewish.
me, but whatever.
In his youth, he ate bagel bites.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's kind of insulting to my okay, bagels aren't a costume. They're my culture, okay? So... you can't bite-size them, pal. So
I've learned so much about the Jewish faith today. This has just been fantastic.
Every episode is a deep dive into Judaica. So to answer the question, if I were high, how much more salmon could I eat? Because that's the real question.
How much smoked salmon could Spike Cohen consume if Spike Cohen still consumed chronic?
It was a
tongue twister.
Woodchuck.
Yeah. How much would woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Wood. as much smoked salmon as Spike could smoke. So I'd say 5 pounds.
Jesus.
I think you're going light. I think you're going a little light there. I think you could...
keep in mind, if it were just salmon, like just salmon, probably like closer to 10 pounds or 11 pounds.
Do you need help?
Yes, but
we're here for you. Just blink twice and we'll send somebody to your house.
No, I don't need help. I can quit any moment now. The reason that I have to have less of the smoked salmon is because smoked salmon has a high salt content. So 5 pounds of smoked salmon would be something like 8 or 9,000% of the daily recommended intake for salt. Well, no. 8 or 900. Maybe even 1,000. It would be like somewhere around 10%, 10 times the recommended daily allowance of sodium. But,
that's not good.
Government's not going to tell me how much of something I can put in my body. I'm going to look that up, actually. How much salt?
I just assumed like the sodium content and stuff. It's like a sporting event. Like you just want to get your numbers as high as possible. Like I just go for the maximum I can. Like until I kind of like feel a little pain in my chest, and then I'll take a nap.
Right. You drink a little bit of water. You take a nap. You wake up. You're fine.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Or you don't.
I'm an American. Either way, the pain in it goes away. Like it's.
Oh God, it's worse than I thought. So 4-ounce serving. Hold on, 5. In here, keep talking amongst yourselves. 80 is 4 is 20.
So Matt, thanks for having me on the show. It's been a great time.
Joel, I'm really glad that you were able to hang out for the entire episode. Now I want to. You told me something that I'm going to. You didn't tell me it was a secret, so I'm just going to tell everybody. When we had Joe Solosky on, there were a bunch of comments and like things like Joe Solosky could dribble a bowling ball.
That's true. I've seen it.
You started these?
Yeah, I am Joe Solosky and Steve Sheets' social media director for governor and U.S. Senate, respectively. And I kind of learned it doing the Jorgensen stuff where, I'm not, Solosky's running a campaign that works for him. He's very polished. He sounds he has a great speaking voice. I'm funny. I'm boisterous. I can, push things. Yeah, Joe, we're different people. I'm more Vermin Supreme. He's more the exact opposite of Vermin Supreme. So, I just went on there and I was like, well, I want to watch his interview, but let's see if we can get people talking about this too. So I just thought, I remember those Chuck Norris jokes. Let me Google some of those and just swap out the names. And then as soon as I heard you guys like literally stop the show and laugh at them, I was like, this has been a success. This yes. worked. And now on our other posts, people will come in and go, yeah, and make like another Chuck Norris joke. And I'm like, boom.
That's the point, right? Is to create that popular thing. And the thing is, Joe's personality fits it perfectly. Because he's a serious guy who has a sense of humor and who can wink
like
in on the joke.
Guy.
Yeah, he actually is like the Dos Equis guy.
He is the Dos Equis guy.
Yeah,
and what I also love is this man has a downright operatic speaking voice. He sounds like a professional a radio announcer, and he goes, now with a voice like this, of course, you can tell that I am an accountant. It's like, wait, what? I think we love Joe on this show. So just breaking news, a typical serving of smoked salmon has as much as 2,260 milligrams of salt, of sodium, which is roughly 94% of the daily intake of sodium. 5 pounds of that would be 45,200 milligrams of sodium, or 45 grams of salt.
That's it?
So basically like an ounce and a half of salt. Which, if you're thinking that would probably kill me, you are correct. So I'm probably going to have to scale back when I say the amount of smoked salmon I can eat in a day.
I
That
had
would
lunch.
absolutely kill me. It would very, very kill me.
I had lunch today at a very nice Jewish deli in Tampa, called Cass Street Deli.
Okay.
Cass Street Deli, or Cass Street Restaurant, Cass Street. But it was fantastic. I got a Reuben, which you may remember those, and it was just so tasty and delicious. And I got latkes with it as well. But they sell 28 pounds of lox. 28 pounds. That's like their size that they sell.
For how much?
I didn't look at that because I knew I wasn't going to be able to afford it.
I might not be able to afford it.
I
Cass,
feel like I don't belong here.
Cass. Cass.
Street Deli, Tampa.
And yes,
Cass
Superfan
Street
Sarah
Deli.
Andrew eggs latkes are better. They're better. I am not saying that Cass Street has better latkes than Superfan Sarah Andrew egg. I would never say such a thing publicly or privately. Anyway.
No, buddy. They're $28 a pound. It's not 28 pounds.
I'm very mad at my boss right now.
Come on, Joe Biden.
I'm very mad at my boss right now, who told me it was 28 pounds.
I mean, you could get 28 pounds. I mean,
You could.
You could get 28 pounds. It would cost
Can.
you
A lot
it
of
would
money.
cost 28. It would cost you $784.
But you
Now
could
that-
do it. I'm not saying you couldn't. I'm technically not wrong here.
Now that we're nearing the end of the show, let's get down to brass tacks. What kind of muddied waters swag should I be expecting in the mail? My time is very valuable, Mr. I think it's Spikel Cohen and Matt Wright. So, what are we talking here?
When I come
T-shirt?
up there, I will bring you a couple things. How about that?
Do you?
When are you coming up here, though? You're already
I will
bailed
come
on our
up-
convention because you have to go to California.
Okay, first of all, I was invited there first, had everything organized, and then everyone's like, hey, why don't you come to Pennsylvania? And I'm like, sure, but I will be doing something remotely for
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
You got invited there first, but which state allows you to take pictures next to piles of dog crap? Our state.
Probably
So
also
dog
California. Probably also California.
Well, that's
You don't know that's dog crap.
yeah. It's a probably, but we don't know for sure. I can guarantee you in Pittsburgh, there's gonna be dog crap right outside your hotel room door. I'll put it there. I don't give a damn.
Well, as tempting as that is.
Can you? Yeah, I'm in sales. Wasn't that a good pitch?
That was as good a pitch about dog crap as one could make, friend. So, Joel, again, so if people want to reach you, getz4mayor.com. GETZ 4, the number 4, mayor.com, to be able to find out more about your campaign. Thank you so much for coming on again. You were fantastic. We are now finishing this show.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's been a wonderful way to spend my birthday.
Yeah, and happy birthday. Happy birthday.
birthday.
So, Matt, if someone were to want to join us next week on Tuesday for another episode of the Muddy Waters of Freedom, where Matt Wright and I parse through the week's events, or I guess the 3 days events, like the delightful little 2020 Wonder Boys that we are. And then join me Wednesday at 8 p.m. for My Fellow Americans, where I will be interviewing, I think, Doug Bandow from Cato.
Oh, and
I think.
we have next week we have Martha Bueno.
Martha Bueno. Next week we have Martha Bueno, who is running for something in. Wait, Martha Bueno.
That was weird.
You guys are just top-notch professionals.
She is running for Miami-Dade Commissioner in District 10, and then join me next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, I will be in beautiful Miramar, Florida for the Socialism versus Freedom event. I'll be on the side of freedom. Featuring Gloria Alvarez. You see I'm doing the roll because I got to do the Spanish thing now. Featuring Gloria Alvarez. Wait, which is it? Gloria too?
I think you should just go with Gloria
Alvarez.
It's just Gloria.
It's just Gloria Alvarez. And then also Antonella Marti and Marta Bueno and Spike Cohen will be there. I don't know how to say Spike Cohen in Spanish.
I'll pay you money to never try to roll your R's again. It's not good.
Gloria. That's hard.
Stop doing
it's
it.
Hard.
Like, it's not good.
That's why I never do it.
Yeah. Just embrace your whiteness and be like, I'm going to sound dumb if I do this. So it's Gloria. Like, done.
What was
Gloria
messing me up was I was putting the R after the I. So it was like Gloria.
You just went from being like aggressively white with it to being like Joe Biden with it. And like,
So join me there. Matt, if someone for some reason wanted to continue watching this program in the future and see us on the internet, which I don't know why they would, but if they did,
not after tonight.
Not after tonight. If for some reason someone didn't catch this episode and as a result still tolerated us as people, is that even possible? And if so, how?
It would, in fact, be possible. All one would have to do is go to anchor.fm/muddiedwaters, where you can find all of our audio episodes for those people who are in school and really enjoy the sweet, sultry smoothness of our sensuous, sultry voices.
Yes,
You can also
great to see you.
You can also leave us messages. This is so much sibilance. There's so much sibilance happening every time we're having it, and that's
this popping. Pop. Happy birthday, Joel.
Happy birthday, Joel Getz.
I'm going to have nightmares about this.
You can also leave us donations.
It's Joel's birthday.
And
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Spike sounds a little bit like Pennywise when he whispers and sings.
Dear
Exactly what it is.
Hello,
happy birthday to Joel.
But Spike sounds like he's about to ask me for the ring so he can launch it into Mordor. I have no idea if that was accurate based on the movies. I really haven't.
I was going to say, I don't think that that's actually.
We all float down here, Joel. Happy birthday, Joel. Hello, Gordy.
Oh, wow. Now we all float down here.
My
Or
Alexa is freaking the fuck out.
I need a drink after this interview.
Well, it's your birthday.
Or-
You've earned it.
it's your
didn't
birthday,
die.
so you should.
You didn't die this year. You deserve a drink. Or you can find this and every other episode at muddywatersmedia.com.
Well, that is fantastic. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in. And Joel, thank you so much for coming on. Matt, thank you for... Hey, thanks. And folks, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week. And where we're going...
We don't need roads.
Well, it's about time. I'm here. I am the person should give and tie? Absolutely. I'm a new person. I'm a new man. I'm a new woman. Oh, I like that. I'm a new boy. I'm a new girl. Oh, I confess that I'm here. I am the one. Raise your voice. I'm the Jubilee. Ken Copeland, you pay attention to me. I'm 83 years old. Get up! You go around saying I'm healed. But you hypocrite, you're not healed. You're just saying that trying to get somebody to give into your ministry. I am. It's not time to stop tithing. And tonight we are going to invest in this ministry. I'm a new person. I'm a new man. I'm a new woman. Oh, I like that. I'm a new boy. I'm a new girl. Oh, I confess that I'm here. I am the one. Raise your voice. I'm the Jubilee. Ken Copeland, you pay attention to me. I am. Put it in reverse. Raise your voice when I've released that power. Whoa! I'm here. I am the one. Raise your voice. I'm the Jubilee. Ken Copeland, you pay attention to me.